effort. But at the end of the game, it came down to an undisciplined penalty, and they let that goal go in on the power play. They end up losing by 2 on an empty netter goal, and they got to be really disappointing to have that one slip away from them in their home opener. As you see it, Ryan Smith gets the goal to go. A little contact there with the goaltender, and Bobby Kidd did not like that very much. A little punch right there, got him 2 minutes in the cubicle of shame, and it ends up costing him. As you see Kyle Waters on the step down there, put it past Chiliano, as the Nighthawks will go on with an empty netter and win that one by 2.
That was a costly mistake, leading to a power play game-winning goal for this new-look Rush team. The outgoing names, a shocking offseason, some of these guys that Saskatchewan traded away.
Well, there's no half-step in here with Derek Keenan. The rebuild is fully underway here, and I would say almost complete. Now they have a young core that can learn and grow together, but gone is Matthews, gone is Beers, and a new goaltender, Frank Chiliano, comes in. He's still looking to find his way a little bit, but they're really high on Patrick Dodds. They go out and get him out of Panther City. Cam Greniak, who may draw into the lineup here tonight as well. Zach Mance has been their best player, and Adam J, a real stabilizer on the back end.
But you see Frank Chiliano at the bottom of that graphic, and now Chiliano here, the big acquisition. Mixed results through the first couple of games. Let's go down to Morgan Worth.
Milestone of 1,000 minutes in net, and after talking to him, he didn't realize that he was going to reach this milestone, but he attributes it to his hard work, his teammates, and Coach Williams' confidence in him. And for tonight, the key is preparation. He said he knows how fast Saskatchewan's transition offense is, and he's going to shut it down tonight. AJ?
Morgan, thanks so much. Again, upstairs here with Jake Elliott. There's Landon and his numbers for the season. What a great start for the 22-year-old out of Fergus, Ontario, as we get going.
Oh, the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse, AJ.
First possession of the game goes to the Desert Dogs. Not a surprise after Zach Cole went 20 for 24 in the win at Panther City on the draws. Greer tries to flip for Casey Jackson. Ends up in a loose ball, and the helmet falls off for Dylan Watson. Turnover.
Yeah, guy can't play without your helmet. Got to get off the floor in that situation. But I think Greer and Jackson have developed some nice chemistry early in this season. We'll see if that continues here tonight.
Zach Mans continues as he's been going the first couple of weeks.
Red hot is Zach Mans, the former Toronto Rock, now Saskatchewan Rush. Comes into the game with 6 goals, 6 assists, make it 7-6 now, as Zach Mans gets the first shot of the game past Landon Kells to open the scoring here tonight.
I go back to what Sean Williams told us this week. He expected the opposing team, the 0-2 Rush, to come out fast and furious.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about, AJ. I think the first 5-7 minutes of this lacrosse game is going to be so important for both these teams. Saskatchewan to get off to a good start, something they haven't done through their first 2 games. And for Vegas, they know Saskatchewan's going to come out and play desperate lacrosse here, and they have to match that intensity and effort through the first portion of this opening quarter.
John Wagner did a nice job crossing midfield with possession, but then gets leveled. And that is trapped underneath Wagner, which leads to a whistle. And possession to the Rush.
Peculiar on that call, but it goes to the team in white.
Greniak playing a second game this year after a recent scratch. Now Clark Walter tries to go on a tough angle against Landon Kells, who seals off the short side.
Now Greniak, part of that Patrick Dodds deal with Panther City, did play in the opener, didn't play in the second game, but back in there tonight and just playing his 6th National Lacrosse League game.
Hellier, one-hand flip. Sean Wesley had the game-tying goal last time. Zach Greer is stopped by Chiliano, and the rebound try, same thing, against Casey Jackson.
It'll help Chiliano's confidence early in this game.
Two teams that play a similar style. Both coaching staffs told us they're looking to push the pace. That's nothing unusual, and just they see a lot of similarities on these two teams.
Absolutely, 2 young clubs, and I think the other thing you're going to see here tonight, AJ, is when the ball is coming up and across center, you'll see teams extend out to that center line, try and chew a little bit of that 30-second clock up, give them less time to work down low on the offense.
Aggressive style of defense to be expected on both sides. These systems, a lot of similar principles.
Well, and young and athletic too, right, AJ? And you got to have the right personnel to play that style.
Good cut and the fine. Rouet has a chance, tries to go low on Chiliano. He gets down there for the stop.
Noted top defender Jake Rouet playing offense here tonight for Vegas. That's according to the GMs and coaches of the league. AJ.
Clark Walter gets toward the crease. And I think they're going to blow this dead for being in the crease. And now Vegas with it. So you said the GMs and coaches.
Well, they came out with a top 50 list. They ranked the offensive players, the transition players, defenders, goaltenders. And Jake Rouet listed as one of the top defenders in the National Lacrosse League. I'm just saying.
Okay. Hey, he's a guy that could come out the front door or back door for sure, and lately getting more offensive shifts. Man's big step-down shot goes whistling past Landon Kells.
They got Hellier trapped out on defense here, and he's got to be aware because he's marking up mans right now.
That's a mismatch, as good as Hellier is, although he proves me wrong, blocks the shot, is trying to leak out in transition. Zach Cole, who is taking a defensive shift there, eventually finds him, and the Dogs can try and set up offense, but now John Wagner is trapped. And Lamar Ketelum loses the ball. Here comes Barnable, who had a highlight transition goal in week 1 in the loss against Halifax. Barnable and Boudreau, a couple of defenders going two-man game, and the whistle.
I think we might have a penalty call coming up, but going back to it, that play at center with Wagner, it's exactly what I was talking about. They use the center line as an extra defender, double the ball carrier, force him back across center, or that time they got the stick check and caused the turnover.
Looks like an illegal substitution, or too many men out there for Las Vegas, so Zach Cole, the in-home, will go and serve this.
I never want to have those type of penalties, especially early in the lacrosse game. Big test now for the short man unit here of Vegas, who has been very stout early in this season. 83% on the man down so far.
Keenan up top, operating the first-year captain, pushed aside by Kells. Easily collected in this 5-on-4 as the Rush maintained possession plus the shot clock reset. Church fires, and Kells was ready for it.
That's a good stop from Landon Kells right there, staring down the Saskatchewan power play, who has done fairly well, 45% in the early season here, but Kells being tested early and often in this opening quarter and has just let one slip by him so far.
Dogs have 2 shorthanded goals this year, second only to Saskatchewan, a league best 5.
That's a lot early in the season.
But good job there, killing the 30 seconds. Still about a minute left on this power play. But first, a timeout. With 9:54 to go in the opening quarter, it's only Zach Mans who has put one in so far for the Rush, but 62 seconds left on their power play. National Lacrosse League is brought to you by NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. Back here in the bright lights in Las Vegas, Jimmy Quinlan on the bench for Saskatchewan's second year, 8-12 record. Couple of different stints with the organization as a coach, rehired in April of 21, promoted in August of 2022 to head coach. Sean Williams, the 17-year NLL player who finished out his career for the Edmonton Rush in 2012. He was a teammate at the time of Jimmy Quinlan.
Yeah, being recognized right now inside the building for his induction into the National Lacrosse League Hall of Fame. And who knows, Jimmy Quinlan may end up in there one day as well. His jersey hangs from the rafters inside the SaskTel Center.
Now 50 seconds left to go in the too many men delay of game penalty as Landon Kells stops it. And kind of a smart play too to let it sit there for a couple of seconds.
Yep, you got a few seconds to get it out of your crease. You might as well use them before the 8-second count starts to get it across the center line.
Tor Reinholt will get this on to Connor Kirst and sub out. Now Rob Hellier as the Dogs look for something shorthanded. He had Rouet down there, but couldn't get it through the traffic.
Did he ever? He was unmarked for a good couple of seconds down there. The pass came just a little bit too late.
Penalty clock is at 5 here. Keenan takes a look at the scoreboard. He says, wait a second, penalty is expired as Cole comes out. And we're now 5-on-5. Quick stick attempt. Keenan picked up by Patrick Dodds. No shot clock reset. Dodds, he gets a shot on goal there. Kells corrals it.
Just want to go back to something there. You saw Keenan take a look over his shoulder and waited for the man to come out of the penalty box. That's so he doesn't go off on the breakaway. Almost forces the guy to come back into the defensive zone before he starts his move towards the net.
I like that, the nuances of the game. You learn something new every time you watch. On the goal line, Hellier. Goal line extended. Now it's Wesley with 3 and 2. Tries to find something. And good job there just to create a prevent transition, at least, by Greer. On the restart, though, it's Mike Messenger. Deeks looks, steps back. Shot doesn't get through. Rebound chance. Also doesn't get on. Well, it got on Kells, but he was able to stop it. Isaac Enju.
Yeah, and Messenger more or less has the green light to go to goal when he wants and needs to. That time, wrong side of the floor, maybe a bit of a force there from the hammer.
Well, personally, I won't be the one to tell him.
No.
If you've seen Mike Messenger before.
He was a little snarly this morning at shoot-around, as well as he sometimes seems to be. Messenger
at 6'2", 230, and he's all of that 230. I think most of it's in the calves, actually.
Yeah, and, you know, the guy lives in the forest, essentially, in his time away from the game. Hunter, outdoorsman, woodsman, Mike Messenger.
I think there are a couple of grizzly bears that are scared of Messenger.
Rightly so.
Good cut here. It is Church on the pass by Mans, who has his hand in both rush goals, 2-0.
There's Robbie Church. I like to call him bar down Bobby. That time he goes bounce shot Bobby, as one of the most pure goal scorers you're going to see in this league. Sometimes makes scoring goals look effortless. And just a good off-ball cut there from Robert Church right down the pipe, and then finds the 5-hole past Kells to make it 2-0.
Just over midway through the first quarter. It's the fast start the Rush were looking for after getting absolutely blitzkrieged by Halifax in the opener. They fell down 7-1 in that game. Never were able to really respond, and then Rochester was more of a back and forth affair. Lost that one late.
Yeah, important 7 minutes here for the Dogs. I know just 2-0, but important for them to get their mojo going offensively here a little bit and give their defense a break and their goaltender a little support.
In traffic, it's Zach Greer on the dish from Hannah. Chance for the loose ball, but Rouet can't handle. And back to the Rush it goes. Third all-time matchup between these two teams, one in each building last year, including the season finale victory, a late comeback win for Saskatchewan. Scored the final 3 goals in the final 3:04 of that game to stun Las Vegas in the finale. Actually, the Rush have not won a game since then, off to their 0-2 start. So looking for their first victory since right here in this building in late April. It's Keenan, the GM's son. Flips the field. Church. And the Lucy goes to Keenan, but just 6 to shoot. Long distance Cam Greniuk, and Kells is there.
A nice rebound control there for Landon Kells. Former #1 overall pick, Ryan Keenan as well.
Yeah, we were told that he's kind of more of a silent type who, whenever he does speak, it's his first year as a captain. When he does speak up, everyone listens.
Now, I would put Rob Hellier in that category as well. AJ, you know, some guys like to talk, some guys lead in the dressing room. Other guys like to lead by example out on the floor, and I think Keenan and Hellier are both those type of captains.
Boudreau goes on the pass backside, and Robert Church scores his 2nd straight goal. It was Dodds, as a matter of fact, you're saying.
Let's have another look. You might have been right on the first call, AJ. My apologies. I thought I saw it was 7, but indeed it was Robert Church. My apologies. This is 2nd of the game, and again, it's just an off-ball. My bad, AJ. Just another good off-ball cut by Robert Church, and they're finding those lanes across through the defense. Vegas got to do a better job getting sticks in lanes and try and knock some balls down.
Jake, it's our first year together. You're going to learn.
Yeah, just zip it. This is what I should do.
No, I make a lot of mistakes. I just didn't make one there. Yeah. That's all.
Hey, there goes the pressure's off. There goes the perfect broadcast.
Well, we'll try again next time. 3-0 though. It's a perfect start for the Rush. Until there, Wagner, who was one of the cause turnover leaders last year. In fact, he did lead the team in cause turnovers last season. He takes a rush at goal, and Chiliano's off to a hot start. He was pushed, though, from behind, and we'll see if that'll just keep it with Las Vegas or put somebody in the sin bin. I think that just is a technical violation there to keep the possession with the Desert Dogs. Going into a timeout, great start for the Rush. 3-0 lead for Saskatchewan. 2 early goals from Robert Church.
Sports fans are gearing up at NLLshop.com, the official online store of the National Lacrosse League, and the largest assortment of officially licensed NLL fan gear anywhere. With unique one-of-a-kind designs, team jerseys, and much more for every National Lacrosse League team. Don't wait. Shop now and get today's special offer. NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Well, the work is not done yet, but I'm assuming Jimmy Quinlan pretty happy about this start. He's downstairs now with Morgan Worth.
Thanks, AJ. Coach, you're on the bench saying stay in it mentally. So what are you expecting from your guys for these next 5 minutes?
Just to kind of keep sticking with the plan. Our first 2 games, we've had the tendency to score and then have a lapse, so we just got to stay with it. We're a young group, and that's it. Mentally be tough between the ears.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
AJ, speaking of not finishing this work, Jimmy Quinlan this afternoon in the gym at the hotel putting in the work. My word, the guy was working out like he was still suiting up to play tonight, just absolutely tearing up the gym. this afternoon. It's incredible to watch.
Yeah, any specifics there? What are we talking about?
Well, he's like circa. You know how most guys will take a little break in between reps and sets? Not Jimmy. He just one exercise to the next, back to the other, and just for an hour straight, nonstop.
It's funny that you ran into Quinlan, because I actually ran into Sean Williams on my way out of the gym.
Okay, well, hey, doesn't surprise me. Looking good down there is Willie.
Just over 4 minutes left in the first quarter. It's been all rush so far. Off the loose ball, it found its way to Walter. He was stopped, though, on the doorstep. I don't think Kels has been bad so far. He's just been ambushed.
Yeah, he's been peppered for sure. Nice job there from Adrian Soroketti to box out on that rebound. Sometimes it's not about picking up the ball. It's about not letting your check pick up the ball, and that was the case there for Soroketti.
Hellier, good find, and that one is sniped. Casey Jackson gets Las Vegas on the board.
Former San Diego Seal, Victoria, BC native, and Casey Jackson with goal number 7 on the season. This one coming on the submarine. Chiliano with a piece, but not quite enough as it finds black mesh, and the Dogs are on the board. It's 3-1. Big goal.
Well, Jackson was the star 2 games ago in his first ever home game, and first ever game as a Desert Dog in the opener against Albany. He had 4 goals in that Las Vegas loss a couple weeks ago.
That's why they went out, and to get him for a song too. I believe second-round pick to acquire Casey Jackson, and that is great value there, especially for the production that he's giving them so far early in this season.
I think you look at what happened last year. They really needed that one more established left-handed player.
Yeah.
And they found one in Casey Jackson, whose career has been hampered at times by injuries and COVID as well, like everyone.
Sure, and you know, let's not also forget Charlie Bertrand, more than capable of taking some reps up front, and then they got Thomas Weisen, who they acquired from Albany in that Sanford deal, that's waiting in the wings for his opportunity.
Right now, Messenger staying out there, taking a shift on offense. And same with McClellan, who takes a shot. He's going up against his former Marquette teammate. McClellan was a midfielder at Marquette. John Wagner played attack. Both play defense now for their respective teams.
And you'll find that from the field game to the box game. Some guys will excel at one discipline in one area and in another in the other. Moving screen call there on Hellier.
How big a factor is it too, Jake, on the college or should say field game to box game point, as we're going to see Wesley going to the sin bin? Is it just the fact that it's all short sticks out here?
Yeah, that's part of it for sure. And man, that's a tough call right there on Vegas. And you know, you go back to that Albany game, AJ, where Albany with what, 9 straight power plays in that game, and I think we were kind of left wondering, and I think the Desert Dogs were as well, was where was the balance in that game? It couldn't just be one team committing all the fouls in that one, and so far that one a little questionable in my humble opinion.
Take a look though at another 5-on-4 for Saskatchewan. Church springs himself free. He's got a hat trick in the first quarter.
Did I mention the guy makes scoring goals look effortless? I mean, that is about as smooth as a stroke as you're going to find in the sport. Just an absolute overhand heater right to the top corner. And that's why I like to call him Bar Down Bobby right there.
You also look at that replay, and I said springs himself free. It's only partially true. Part of that was Zach Manns helping him spring free. And I talked with Zach Manns about that this week, how he's worked the last few years on becoming a better off-ball player. And whenever you have that opportunity to set a great pick for a teammate, seizing that opportunity.
Yeah, and he's going to draw attention, obviously, with the production that he's had in this season so far. He's an excellent outside shooter as well, and he's going to have defense gravitate towards him because of that, and that's going to open up other guys, especially when he got an extra body on the floor.
When Greniuk goes levitating toward the cage and then falls into Landon Kells, which is never going to be treated kindly by the opposing team.
Yeah, and for Saskatchewan here, like, I might just want to stay away from Landon Kells. We kind of saw what happened at the end of that Albany game, him getting involved. But on the other side of things, I think this might actually be a good thing for Vegas to kind of wake him up a little bit and get a little ornery in this game, and I think this is going to be a Saskatchewan penalty here for contact on the goaltender, and a power play coming for Vegas.
Yeah, wake him up, and then the man advantage doesn't hurt either. As Cameron Greniuk, he played in the opener, was scratched last game. Just his 7th career game played in the NLL. Jake mentioned it already, but he came over in the Dodds deal in which the number 5 pick and Matt Beers were outgoing.
Their Grand Canyon University grad. That program, they'll sit for 2 or less here.
Yeah, Grand Canyon club team.
No, not many NLLers out of Grand Canyon.
Greer and Hellier switch spots. Now Wesley back to Rob Hellier. The Las Vegas captain's got it. Good look. Jackson on the doorstep, denied. But a fresh 30 on the man advantage.
Excellent stop there for Chiliano, getting the stick up in time to Rob Jackson.
3 right-handers out there for Vegas. Around the back twice in a row. Hellier, Hanna, and Wesley was looking for one more. Nearly intercepted. Now it potentially is. And Saskatchewan has it. Boudreau racing ahead. Messenger, and they find it.
This is what Saskatchewan does, AJ. They want to run. They want to use their speed. Another shorthanded goal here from the Rush. Their 6th of the season so far. This one courtesy of number 8, Mike Messenger, on a beautiful play to set him up on a 2-on-1 shorthanded.
Unreal. 6 shorthanded goals. No one else in the league has more than 2.
That is a really telling stat here. And, for the young goaltender Landon Kells, I think a real savvy move for him to have a little equipment malfunction after that shorthanded goal, just to give his boys a chance to settle down. The Canadian timeout, we like to call this, AJ. I don't think anything was really wrong with the helmet, but Kells found something wrong with it. Give the team a chance to huddle up at the bench, regroup a little bit. Remember, they're still on the man advantage here, and if they can get one before the end of the quarter, I think they'll feel a lot better about themselves.
The time and the penalty just about matches up with the time left in the quarter. There's 1:09 left on the power play, 1:01 in the quarter. So, yeah, still very important. You can get that goal in, get it back down to 3, because right now headed in the wrong direction.
And here's where having Zach Cole really will pay dividends. It's not always about coming up with possessions and the numbers and the percentage and all that. It's about the timely win. And a situation here for Las Vegas, win or draw, get possession, get right to work on the man advantage after giving up a goal.
This is, year 2 for Las Vegas, new franchise, difficult league to win games, and these are those moments when you're trying to install a culture like Sean Williams is. It's very interesting to see how this group responds when they get put in a situation like this, as we're going to see Joel Watson for the first time this season taking Kells' spot.
Yeah, and the
in goal.
Big contrast here between the two goaltenders. Obviously, Kells a smaller goaltender, more of a reactionary guy. Watson, bigger, likes to play his angles. Efficiency in between the pipes for Big Watson.
Well, Zach Cole won that draw very easily. Now 5 for 6 for the Desert Dogs. He's taken every single face-off this year in his rookie season for Las Vegas. Still a 5-on-4. Greer. Watson missed it. He had a great opportunity and didn't even get the shot on goal. So no reset. Rush have it anyway. A little bit of space for Barnable. That one was not put on frame. Big rebound with 25 and less than that left in the quarter. It's in the stick of Hellier. Still on the man up here. So the shot clock is off. Vegas can hold for 1 with the power play. Greer behind the back to Watson. Extra look. Hellier stopped by Chiliano. Saving the night so far for Frankie. And with time winding down, Bobby Kidd III from midfield.
That's about
saved.
That's about as good of an opening 15 minutes that you can play if you're the Saskatchewan Rush, and in particular Frank Chiliano, who had a number of 5 bell saves in that opening frame right there.
That might have been the best of all. Robert Church had a hat trick in the first quarter. Rush up by 4.
Yeah. History has brought us here.
From the origins of Daywalla Alado to our first game 36 years ago.
Welcome to what could be the start of something big. Pro lacrosse return.
All the moments mattered.
They helped shape the game.
The players,
The fans.
The communities and our future.
it helped bring us here. The next season,
The next game.
The next face-off.
The next shift. The next hit.
the next save,
The next goal.
The next celebration.
The next man up.
The next lesson.
The next victory.
The next legend.
The next champion.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the next Major League.
Here in the Sin City, it was a dominant first quarter for the Saskatchewan Rush. A 5-1 advantage over the Las Vegas Desert Dogs. Some common ties between these two teams. Last year, Vegas an expansion team. The Rush have been around for a lot longer, including 3-time champions, once in Edmonton, twice in Saskatchewan, most recently 2018, and we have members of that team on both sides.
We do, in particular for Las Vegas, Greer, Reinhold, to name a couple, and Quinlan, of course, Keenan, Church, the list goes on. A lot of cross-pollination. Soroketti, another guy between these two clubs. They know each other well, and I think that'll help both teams kind of figure this game out a little bit. Blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse, AJ.
Start of the second. And there are a couple of more seconds left on the power play that now have expired. So it's 5-on-5. Penalty kill there for Saskatchewan on Las Vegas's first man-up opportunity. Elliott to Dylan Watson. Misses on the far side. Bounces right to Jack Hanna. He scored his first goal of the season late in the Panther City game. Led all rookies in the NLL in goals scored last year. Shot clock here still at 16. Lots of time left on this possession for Las Vegas as Watson's shot is blocked. Desert Dogs efforting to get back in transition defense, which is always so important against the Rush.
Bobby Kidd with that last block there. Felt that one.
Church behind the back. Dodds thinks about it. Extra pass. That was beautiful. That's a goal by Clark Walter. And some showtime for Saskatchewan right there.
The Poco product, maybe one of the best lip sweaters in the league as well for Clark Walter. But I was thinking to myself, I cannot believe Patrick Dodds did not shoot that ball. Well, what do I know? The extra feet across the crease. No chance for Watson. The tap in for Walter. And the lead up to 5.
It felt like Patrick Dodds had all day there to try something on Watson. But when you have somebody that's over 300 pounds, it's also potentially wise to make him try and get across the face of the goal in a situation like that. And now it's 6-1. This is nearly an identical start going in the opposite direction to Saskatchewan's season opening loss at Halifax. Jacob Rouet on the feed from Hellier. Couldn't get that one on frame. Here come the Rush again. Holden Garland still possessing. He's a guy who underrated across the league. He was one of the best defenders last year. Jimmy Quinlan could not say enough about him.
A high draft pick a few years ago now for Saskatchewan, and they're real happy with Holden Garland. But you just look at this entire back end. Kidd, Engine, all of them, Burnable. They all want to run. They're all fast, and they just want to push the ball up the floor.
Joel Watson gets in the books there with a stop, making his first appearance of the season in net for Las Vegas. Early moments, second quarter. Desert Dogs trying to get something going. Hellier, a miss, goes right to Dylan Watson, the number 2 overall pick a couple of years ago. Swim move, Hannah, slide on him. Barnable on the double. Watson gets it in his hands, and the shot came too late.
Another good defensive set there for Saskatchewan, and I think that's probably the motto or the mantra here for the Rush. When they see Hannah start to drive one-on-one, the double is going to come quickly.
John Williams has noticed the amount of attention that the all-rookie teamer Jack Hannah has gotten early in the season. Adjustment needed from him. Zach Mans is able to put that one in. That one found its way through Watson. Delayed call there. Have to go take a look at this replay to see how that one snuck in, but Zach Mans scores again.
I'd want to see the replay on this as well, AJ. It looked like it slipped through the wickets here. Watson, who just couldn't get down in time, and on top of that one, and we're going to get another goaltending change here shortly for 92. Landon Kells is back in.
Which, one way or the other, probably not a surprise that you're going to see Kells back in the game.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right move and the right call there from Coach Williams for sure.
Something that Saskatchewan had to deal with in their season opener. First game after the big Chiliano offseason acquisition, he was pulled and came back in several different times in the Halifax game. And we were told by Jimmy Quinlan that we were going to see the good Frankie this week, and so far we have.
Yeah, and it's tough as a goaltender when you get the hook and then you go back in, your confidence a little shaky. And now it's up to the offense here for Vegas to help out their goaltender and defense and get a little production.
Again, the loss at Halifax, then a better performance, late comeback win for Rochester against Saskatchewan last week. And Jimmy Quinlan said if there were 10 good shifts in week 1, 20 in week 2, he's hoping for at least 30 in Vegas and their first win of the season today.
And that's how you'll kind of see coaches will break it down in 5-minute segments. They'll break it down in a number of shifts in a game. And Quinlan clearly going with that.
Well, they're approaching 30 good shifts, it feels like, in the first half. The way this has started is Dodds tried the wraparound. Kells doing enough. 7-1 Rush. Dylan Watson has some time and room. Nowhere close there. Remember, Watson was banged up at the start of training camp. A little bit of a slow start to his rookie year, but not unexpected. He's very, very young. Former Georgetown and Jacksonville player in the NCAA. Decorated player who was picked 2nd overall in the NLL draft in 2022 as possession flips to the Rush.
Sure how much time he got shooting on his Hall of Fame father, Bob Watson, in the backyard, or local rink, if you will.
It's a good way to fine-tune that outside shot. And for him, a lot of great crease finishes as well. Tor Reinhold getting hassled here and throws it away. Robert Church with the caused turnover on defense. Now Dodds, it gets deflected off him toward Clark Walter. Swims past his man. Walter finds Dodds again. He makes the extra pass again, and Jarrett Smith is stuffed.
That's the difference between an offensive guy and a defensive guy right there. Smith needs to take another step to the top of the crease, increase his shooting angle, let his stick see a little more net than he did right there.
A rare shift right now for Nathaniel Kozevnikov, is wearing the brace on his left leg, number 21 for Saskatchewan, out of Langley, British Columbia.
Won himself an NLL championship with the Bandits last year.
Great job by Zach Cole sealing out space. Jacob Rouet takes it. Delayed start to this offensive possession. Greer circles all the way around. Hanna got jabbed at, took a shot, got the reset. They make a change. Greer comes out, Wagner subs in, and
Chiliano's helmet got popped off with that howitzer from Hanna. And
that is impressive. Even though it didn't go in, it won't count as a goal. But to actually dislodge or damage the opposing goaltender's helmet, that is a new one for me at least. Jack Hanna.
Buzz the tower.
It's a highlight reel play in its own right, but Vegas is trailing big.
Welcome back to Michelob Ultra Arena. I'm with Vegas head coach Sean Williams in a little bit of a hole. So what changes to the game plan are you making to start climbing back?
Hey, just they came out very hungry, and we knew they were going to be a fast team, and we're a fast team. We're just we're not playing that way. We just got to get back to our game and just try to chip away at this.
Thank you, Coach. AJ?
Yeah, it felt like after the way the first 2 weeks went that Las Vegas could sense they might see a different Rush team this week.
Yeah, you had to expect that. You cannot start a season 0-3 and expect to make the playoffs. Your percentages go down significantly if you do that. So I think a lot more pressure on Saskatchewan coming into this game than Las Vegas. But it's up to Vegas to match that intensity that Saskatchewan is playing with.
Response needed. 7-1 hole. Las Vegas has not scored since a few minutes into the game. Robert Church stopped from the slot by Landon Kells. Casey Jackson has the lone Desert Dogs goal so far. It actually came later on in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I really believe that Vegas needs to start pushing their game in transition here, AJ. Force Saskatchewan to get on their back heel, force them to maybe take a penalty call, push the ball up the floor, run. That's what this team's about.
That's what the Rush are doing, and Keenan is denied by Kells.
Big time stop right there.
Now Jared Smith goes sub shot, and Landon Kells right there again. Whistle blows here, and something off ball I think is going to lead to a penalty.
These are the ones you do not want to take on the offensive end of the floor here if you're Las Vegas. And big kill coming up
Vegas
here.
minor penalty
Middle
number
of the second
22 minutes
quarter.
illegal cross check.
Yeah, the officials tonight: Mark Gardonio, Ryan Wilson, and Simon D'Souza.
Yeah, we found out a little fun facts before the game. Simon D'Souza, actually the nephew of the great John Tavares.
That's great lineage right there.
Not allowed to referee Buffalo Bandit games, AJ.
Makes sense. If I was the opposing team, I'd be in agreement with that. I'd say playing Buffalo. Power play here for the Rush. Great kick save by Kells. previous time when Robert Church scored for the hat-trick goal. That was the first power play goal in 11 tries allowed this season by Las Vegas at home. Now here's Church. Great look, and he cashes it in. That's 4.
Heat check. I mean, he's done it in a variety of different ways here too, AJ. I mean, a couple on the power play, one from the outside, one from the off-ball cut down the middle, and this time just parked himself right in the slot and goes sidearm far side under the glove of Kells, and it's 8-1 Saskatchewan.
5-0 run. Look, it's still early enough that all of a sudden you get a few goals in a row here for Las Vegas. It becomes a totally different game, but this is in danger of getting completely out of hand.
Yeah, trust me, I've seen crazier things happen than a 7-goal comeback, but they got to stop the bleeding here and find a way to respond. Okay.
John Wagner is going to be called for an infraction, and then Messenger came in and laid out Wagner after the whistle. So we'll see if Messenger goes in as well.
I think we'll probably see a penalty be delivered to both teams here. I think Vegas was getting the original. Messenger wasn't going to have any of that with a response or retaliatory penalty. And that's going to get called every time. But Wagner off to the box, and Mike Messenger already in there.
And Messenger still talking to Wagner and the officiating crew.
Told you, a little snarly this morning was Messenger.
Again, Mike Messenger is not someone to be trifled with.
There's the understatement of the evening. But we'll see. We'll see if this kind of helps Las Vegas get themselves back into this game here a little bit. A little rough stuff. Get involved, give a hit, take a hit.
Cross-check is under review.
I think the cross-check here, we're not hearing the ref mic down there, but the explanation was they're going to go take a look at this as it was called as a major penalty on the floor. New rule this year, that is reviewable.
Yeah, and I like this from the National Lacrosse League and Brian Lemon, the ability to go and have a look. If it's assessed a major, step in, just like a goal review, step right into the booth, have a second or even a third and fourth look at it, and then decide, do we want to keep this a 5? Do we want to downgrade it to a minor? Or do we want to upgrade it to something a little more serious? And we'll see what crew chief Mark Gardonio wants to do with all of this.
Man, the way that, I mean, I understand they're looking at this because of the initial hit, and they should be, and that's all it should be, but all I'm saying is Wagner, his neck snapped back, like Messenger tagged him on that next. I'm not saying they should be looking at that because it was warranted, I would say, in a way, that response, but Messenger, he's just so strong, and Wagner was not expecting that. And if you look at that replay, you could see his neck snap back.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how they want to deliberate on this one. I think we could maybe see a 5 go up on either side of the scoreboard here.
Interesting.
Lots of youth in the crowd here tonight, AJ. I know there's a big box lacrosse tournament happening in the city of Las Vegas.
What isn't happening in Las Vegas?
Oh my goodness, we got Raiders last night, of course, putting up 63 points over Allegiant. 4-on-4 lacrosse coming up, and then of course Golden Knights in action tonight. We got our Desert Dogs happening right in front of our eyeballs, and then the big UFC going down tomorrow night here in Sin City.
There, I think there's some type of rodeo event going on as well.
Lots of cowboys around the casinos this weekend for sure.
So you were right, Jake. A couple of 5-minute majors, 4-on-4 for 5 minutes.
Well, bring it on, AJ. I'm excited to see a full 5 minutes of action with a little extra turf out here at Michelob Ultra.
Well, and if you're the team that's down 8-1, you like the sound of that.
I think so.
You'll take that 4-on-4 for 5 minutes.
Saskatchewan will start with possession, and I'm a little surprised about that. I thought because Messenger took the second penalty that Vegas would get possession here, but not the case. Just getting the score clock sorted out here a little bit. They had the wrong penalty time up. Oh, excuse me, it's a 2-minute minor on Messenger.
We were misinformed.
And that is why they get possession.
So 5-minute penalty on Wagner and then a 2 on Messenger. So it's a 3-minute 5-on-4.
No, we'll play 4-on-4 for 3 minutes, and then Saskatchewan will get the man advantage. Yeah.
Had it backwards. You're absolutely right. 2 minutes, 4-on-4 underway. So I guess if you're the Desert Dogs, got to try and capitalize right now. Dodd's shot is soaked by Griffin Hall, and now Tor Reinholt comes away with it.
Nice job there from Griffin Hall to get in the lane, sacrifice the body.
$1:15 left in the Messenger penalty. Greer and Jackson, 2-man game thrown away.
If you've never had the pleasure of soaking a lacrosse shot into your midsection or legs, AJ, maybe next home game you can get down the turf and just let somebody wind up and fire one at you, and then you can know what it's actually like. What do you think?
I'm good.
Okay.
Kozevnikov. And now Hellier decapitates. Church hesitates. Get the reset there when Greniuk was the one who got taken down hard. Hellier also lost the lid. And now Rouet's going to have a look here.
Quick whistle.
Jacob Rouet. Well, they'll blow that one dead first. And say that now Las Vegas can restart. 16 seconds until it is 5-on-4 for Saskatchewan. Wesley bounces it off the mark. 7 seconds left on that first penalty, or the lower penalty. Jackson puts it in just in time. Desert Dogs get a 4-on-4 goal with 2 seconds left in Messenger's penalty, and both Desert Dog goals so far have come by the way of Casey Jackson.
Jackson on the finish, but this is all about the setup as it comes from the West Durham Ironhead product. Sean Wesley on the cross crease feed to Jackson, who quick sticks that one to the back of the goal. And there's the one that the Desert Dogs needed, and it comes with just 2 seconds left on the penalty time to Messenger.
Stops a 5-0 run. Also gives Vegas an opportunity to win this faceoff, and they're so far 9 for 11 on faceoffs going into the first 30 seconds of what'll be 3 minutes on the penalty kill. Zach Cole wins it routinely against Boudreau as the Rush just conceded that draw, which was probably part of the game plan this week. They were concerned, especially in week 1 against Jake Withers in Halifax, that Messenger was expending too much energy trying to win the draws.
Yeah, you'll see Messenger just scamper to the bench there to get his defensive stick instead of his face-off stick, and you'll see guys do that from time to time when they can. But Saskatchewan, one of those teams that does not have a bona fide face-off specialist. So you have to find ways to get it done in a different variety. And whether it's, accepting that you're going to lose the face-off, maybe try and cause a 50-50 ball, get on the stick as soon as he gets possession. And so far, Vegas has had their way in the face-off dot. It just hasn't quite translated on the scoreboard quite yet.
It is something, though, that if you're trying to be the comeback team, that certainly helps. The ability to win those draws with ease.
No question about it. It helps in a variety of ways. It helps you keep momentum, and it helps you stop momentum, depending on which side of the ball you're on at that time.
Well, in terms of big comebacks, certainly worth remembering that the Desert Dogs in their first ever franchise victory came back from a 12-4 halftime deficit to defeat Vancouver last year on January 20th.
What a game that was, HJ, my word. That was Landon Kells coming out party. Jack Hanna with a big one in that one as well. And they're going to need some sort of similar effort to that here tonight in Las Vegas.
So we were informed that the delay here had to do with Saskatchewan leaving the box prematurely.
Well, by the letter of the law, I believe that should cost you another penalty unless it was the gate operator inside releasing him early accidentally.
Dogs have possession coming off the stoppage, but then an illegal hold was called. And so with 4:20-ish left to go in the second quarter, 2.5 left on the penalty kill for the Dogs. They're back down 5-on-4.
They are calling off-ball picks tight here tonight.
Keenan, multiple steps toward the cage. His shot is stopped up high by Kells.
Here we go.
Leaking ahead. Here come the Desert Dogs and Gagliardi. A little bit of room for Hellier. Bounces it toward Chiliano. Chiliano gets down for the save. Hellier using the stick liberally on the back end of that play.
That's not smart there from Mike Messenger, and I think Hellier goaded him into that one. They were talking to each other up the floor, and Mike Messenger took an extra shot on Hellier, and that's a free possession here for Las Vegas while shorthanded. Costly.
A couple of mistakes you could argue by Messenger. I know sticking up for your guy, his team would probably support the first one, but ultimately gave Las Vegas a 4-on-4 goal. And now the Desert Dogs get possession here on the man down. Swim move, Hanna. Darting back and forth, Holden Garland. He holds up against Hanna. No one has possession yet, so Saskatchewan wisely lets the shot clock expire.
Yeah, I was a little wondering why Garland did that, and then I had to look at the shot clock. That's a heads-up play from Holden Garland, just to knock it across center, realizing the shot clock was winding down.
Keenan thinking about it, finds Dodds. One more pass again, and it's Dodds to Walter for the second time.
They got something cooking down on the crease here. Does the rush power play as the same two guys hook up for another cross crease quick stick. As Dodds just froze Kells a little bit as he looks towards the goal like he was going to shoot, and then sees number 9 parked on the back door, and there's no chance for Kells to go post to post that quickly, and it's a power play goal for Saskatchewan to lead back up to 7.
Man, Patrick Dodds has been patient so far tonight. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, and that's a guy that I think Derek Keenan and Jimmy Quinlan identified pretty early, that a guy they wanted to get to Saskatchewan. He finally became available, and it cost them a little bit to get him, but they're real happy with number 7 wearing green and white.
Gave up essentially what I think became de facto swap of the number 5 overall pick for Dodds. So you kind of, if you're doing that, you're basically saying if Dodds got put back in the draft this year, he would be worth a top 5 pick, and he has 4 assists already tonight.
Yeah, and a high draft pick back in his draft year as well, and then you add on a couple of 3 years of maturity to go along with it. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, he was a 2nd-round pick, made the all-rookie team with Panther City in his first year. Played 2 years with Panther City. Numbers were down a bit last year from his 84-point rookie year, but could be primed for a bigger role again this year. It's 9-2 rush. That gets away from Church, but easily scooped up off the glass by Dodds. Shot clock down to 1. Church gets the rebound, but no reset there, and Kells taking issue with something from Church.
Well, I think he's unhappy that Church took the shot after the 30-second clock expired, but Church unhappy because he thinks there should have been a reset on the shot clock.
So just a little bit of ordinary confusion there in a game of box lacrosse. 2:09 left in the opening half. It's all rush in the first. Well, we were discussing the 2018 title team for Saskatchewan. Let's go down to Morgan Worth for more on that.
Yeah, 5 players on the floor tonight were on that team. You have Robert Church, Mike Messenger, and Ryan Keenan for the Rush. And then you have Adrian Soroketti and Tor Reinhold for Vegas. And I talked to a lot of these players leading up to today's game. But what stood out to me the most is all of them said they were having so much fun that season. Adrian Soroketti told me it was more than a game. They were a really close, tight-knit team. And they were friends first. They wanted to see each other on the weekend. And then they got to play lacrosse on top of that. And that bled into the way they played the game. And Tor Reinhold told me it was easy to win when they were all coming together. AJ?
Casey Jackson is stopped on the doorstep there by Chiliano.
Yeah, you love to see it. The best picture in sports where they're huddled around the trophy and you look at the faces. And when you win a championship together, you're bonded for life. You will walk together for life. Those are relationships that will last throughout your entire life and memories that you'll never forget.
Robert Church looks to wrap one in towards Landon Kells, who was up to the task. The penalty expired around the start of this segment coming out of the media timeout. Loose balls so far are just about even, and we get a whistle.
8-second violation.
So effective job by the Rush of generating a new possession on what should have been a Vegas clear if they had been able to control it better. Keenan skipping in, his shot low on Kells.
And I'll say this, AJ, you know, sometimes the shot totals don't always tell the story of a lacrosse game. In this particular case, I think they do. Almost double here for Saskatchewan, 27-15.
Wagner dives inside. Chiliano right there again.
See if Saskatchewan wants to go 2 for 1 here. Pretty late in the 30, so I don't think they will. They'll play a full possession here. Looks like the Dogs will get the last possession.
Mike Messenger out there on offense again. Patrick Dodds has 4 assists, takes a shot right in the chest of Kells. Shot clock is off. Desert Dogs calling for timeout.
Yeah, smart call here from Coach Williams and company. Lots of time on the clock. You think 11 seconds, that's not very much. Well, in the game of lacrosse, it certainly is. And they'll bring out their 6-on-5 offense, something they work on a lot at practice and shoot around. And they'll try and draw up their best play here. Will Coach Millen to try and get one late in the half here, draw themselves within 6, and feel good, a little better anyways, about themselves heading into the locker room.
A lot of ties between these two coaching staffs. We were told by Jimmy Quinlan, that the defensive coordinator in his first year for Las Vegas, Phil Weatherup, reminded that he was the backup goaltender on the 2005 Toronto championship team that Quinlan was on.
Oh, how about that? Going way back. And a little time with Quinlan and Williams in Edmonton for the Rush as well.
Mentioned that off the top. And of course, Quinlan teammates once upon a time with Bruce Alexander, his new offensive coordinator.
Yes, indeed. Bruce Alexander, what a player he was back in his day. One of the hardest shots you've ever seen. Became more of a defensive guy in the National Lacrosse League, but the man could fill it up back in his younger days as well. And you know, Jimmy said he's kind of finding his way as an offensive coach in this league. He's learning on the job as he goes. First-year coach in this league. And, you know, the cross-pollination from all the teams and all the coaches runs pretty deep in this league. It's a big league, but it's also a pretty tight-knit community, and all these guys know each other really well.
I like Quinlan told us specifically they've been working on, instead of just doing the sides when they draw up the play in the huddle, making sure you put every player at his particular spot on the whiteboard when they draw up the play.
Yeah.
As time winding down to the first half, and it expires before Greer gets a shot off, and some extra stare downs and conversation that get broken up pretty quickly.
Well, I think it's going to be two pretty different conversations in the locker room here at halftime. I think Saskatchewan going to be nice, calm, and collected, and feeling good about themselves, and we may see a garbage can or a clipboard snapped in half from the Vegas Desert Dogs coaching staff after that opening 30 minutes. They got some work to do in half number 2, but let's remember this is a 60-minute game, not 30.
I'll remember. So we'll keep that in mind going into the second half. But Las Vegas had a tough time of it in the first. 9-2 Saskatchewan lead. As let's go down now to Morgan with Robert Church.
Good hustle from our camera guy.
We're still efforting down there.
Thank you, AJ. I am with Robert Church. Robert, you have 4 goals already on the night. What holes are you seeing in Vegas's defense?
Yeah, we're just working really hard on offense. The guys are setting hard picks, and we're just getting open, and we're hitting our shots right now. We got to keep that up in the second half.
You guys came out the gate really hungry. Why was it so important for you guys to get a big lead coming into this game?
Yeah, we're 0-2 on the season. We've been kind of getting in big holes to start the game, so we came in mindset to start hard and kind of bring it to them, and hopefully we can keep that up in the second half because we know these guys are a resilient team and they're going to come out hard.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thanks.
Appreciate that, Robert Church. 4 goals and an assist in the first half. Also a 5-point half for Patrick Dodds. All of them were assists, and those are the kind of numbers you see when the team is up 9-2. It's the Rush in front at the halftime break.
In 2023, your Las Vegas Honda dealers, together with the Desert Dogs, formed an historic alliance with one goal: strengthen the community, power the pack.
The Las Vegas Honda dealers teamed up with the Desert Dogs to make the pack stronger.
Yeah, we knew right away we need some all-star recruits.
With an advanced scouting report from the Cure for the Kids Foundation, Southern Nevada's Children's Cancer and Rare Disease Center, the Desert Dogs and Honda began a recruiting campaign the likes of which has never been seen in professional sports.
Dude, this kid rocks. I hope we can sign him. We got the closer, the big dog. If we can get this kid, the pack is gonna howl. He's not a defender, is he?
Summoning the power of the pack, the Dogs were able to sign Colton Lindholm, an all-star patient and mighty cancer warrior.
Congrats. Welcome, buddy.
The signing sent players, coaches, and sponsors into their customary celebration.
These guys drive a hard bargain. They raw dog.
I am with the power of the pack player, Colton. Colton, how's your night going so far?
It's going good.
I love it. So you've had a great 2 days. You were at practice last night. So tell me some of the things you were doing at practice last night.
Oh, well, first we started with like passing stuff, and then I put some shots on the keepers.
I saw this last night. I can tell you he was scoring quite a bit. Colton, what has been your favorite part about this experience as a player on the Desert Dogs?
Oh, I just like getting to know all the players and everything.
Well, I know they're very happy and excited to meet you, and that was evident last night. But do you happen to have a favorite player?
Oh, no, there's just such a great group of people. I can't pick just one.
See, that is a textbook answer, Colton. Thank you so much. The team is so happy that you are here. Coach Williams is, and I hope you enjoy your night. Guys, stay locked in right here for some stats and highlights.
But we saw the full repertoire for Bar Down Bobby in the first half.
He did it in a variety of ways with 4 goals in that opening half, AJ. That one, the off-ball cut, 5-hole. Another backdoor look from Zach Mans for the quick stick. And then the power play goes to work here for the Rush. The overhand crank. And one more in the half for number 17 as he parks himself in the slot, little soft zone. And the reacher under the glove, far side past Kells. A 5-point half for Robert Church. Vegas trying to respond in that opening half as they get 2. And they both come courtesy of Casey Jackson.
Let's see a couple, though, from Mans first. Zach Mans, who he was kind of the featured player through the first couple of weeks. It was Church, of course, stepping up today, but Mans also got 2 goals of his own plus an assist. Now we see the Jackson goals.
Yeah, and that's when Saskatchewan becomes a dangerous team, when they got more than just Mans clicking. But for Vegas, they need more than just Casey Jackson clicking. I think Watson played a pretty solid opening half there, got a number of good looks, just couldn't quite bury the ball. But Jackson still keeps his hot play going. We'll see if they can mount the comeback here in the second half.
Desert Dogs used a couple of different goaltenders in the first half as well. Got badly outshot, which you mentioned, by Saskatchewan, being very indicative of the way this one transpired.
Loose balls are pretty even. The turnovers at the bottom of your ledger there, AJ, also a concern. More than double.
I thought Chiliano, 15 saves, but he was just really good.
Yeah, he made some excellent stops in that first half, no question. And that's more of the Frank Chiliano that Saskatchewan has been looking for.
So, Las Vegas in a major hole, but they got 30 more minutes to come back. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You don't hear Saskatchewan and Las Vegas, Nevada in too many sentences together, but you just did. It's the Rusher up 9-2.
They're very similar, AJ. I don't know what you're talking about.
Notoriously similar. As let's take a look at what's going on with the new Unboxed series in the National Lacrosse League, and a great initiative going on, Jake.
Yeah, 9 new communities and some familiar ones as well, where National Lacrosse League teams have been in years gone by, but this is fantastic stuff. We've talked a lot about this. New curriculum in physical education for kids. They're going to get the equipment into the schools. They're going to have a curriculum, be able to teach lacrosse the proper way. And the National Lacrosse League and the discipline that will be played at the Olympics, 6-on-6 lacrosse, very similar to each other. And this is going to be maximum participation, maximum fun for these kids, and introducing a bunch of new people to the great game of lacrosse.
We were both in San Diego for the World Lacrosse Championship in June. And, you know, a lot of focus on trying to get the game back into the Olympics, which they've successfully done in the sixes discipline. And I just like it goes along the lines of what you see on the screen. What I learned from being at the World Lacrosse Championship was that people that are involved in this sport, it feels like they have a higher purpose for what they are doing. They're trying to spread the game and use the game as a vehicle for a positive impact in a variety of ways.
Yeah, the hashtag Grow the Game has been around for a long time, and it's what we try and do, right? Spread the good gospel of this sport of lacrosse. Morgan has more on that. Let's send it down to her.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. Obviously, you guys have to climb back. So what was the message in the locker room coming out for the second half?
Hey, yeah, you know, hats off to them. They had a good half. It's like they haven't seen what we got. It's time to show it.
Love it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Morgan. Thanks, Coach Williams.
Let's not forget about that game coming up in Montreal. One of those new markets, AJ, be playing a regular season lacrosse game in the great city of Montreal between the Riptide and the Rock a little later on in the season.
Yeah, wait for that one. Of course, the Desert Dogs were involved in first of its kind game, the outdoor game last year in Snapdragon against San Diego Seals.
What a spectacle that was.
Dodds whiffed but got the ball back. Shot clock winding down. It's loose, picked up by Kells at the tail end of the possession. We'll see if the Desert Dogs can get some transition of their own going in the second half.
Now they're just going to have to get themselves inside, pay the price to get to the dirty areas of the floor here, get in tight on Chiliano, and test the big goaltender from prime shooting areas.
Like the move from Casey Jackson. Now Greer goes over the shoulder. We saw a goal like that in transition from Barnable a couple weeks ago on the Saskatchewan side.
Yeah, early candidate for goal of the year. We'll see how long that holds up for, but so far I would say that's the top.
Yeah, there's behind the back, and then there's
blind
over the shoulder, yeah, or blind behind, whatever you want to call it.
Incredible effort.
Mans with some room. He scores. It's a hat trick for Zach Mans.
You just cannot give number 2 time and room to get his hands free, because he's going to make you pay. And he does again right there as he lets the underhand, the subber I like to call it, AJ, just let it rip. And he finds the back of the goal for the first goal of the second half.
For those that follow the NCAA game, of all schools, the fact that Mans and Church lead the way for Saskatchewan, and both were Drexel Dragons. How about that?
Yeah, there's a lot of Drexel products, including one Marshall King, who we should probably say hello to here, AJ, away from the team right now, and you know, going through some stuff with the loss of his wife and taking some time away to grieve and be with his family, understandably so. And no timetable on Marshall's return, but I know all the boys here in Vegas and the coaching staff and the whole organization are behind Marshall. They're thinking about him on a daily basis, and they look forward to his return when he is ready.
Yeah, we were talking with Marshall a lot about that last year during the Tucker out game, and hearing his story, his wife's story, and our thoughts are with Marshall right now for sure.
Smart shot there. We'll get the reset.
Certain schools just, they tend to recruit Canada more and attract some of those box players. I was having that conversation with Reed Reinhold today. There are 4 different limestone players in this game. Walter and Messenger on the Saskatchewan side, and the Reinholds for Las Vegas.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll put limestone in that category. Drexel, Robert Morris University, another just factory. Could throw Ohio State in that list as well. Some schools just seem to produce a little more box lacrosse players than others.
We have Ryan Barnable going into the sin bin, which is what the penalty box is frequently called in the National Lacrosse League game. Early third quarter.
Need one here.
They're trying a dunk attempt from behind. Casey Jackson scored his first ever Desert Dog goal that way in the season opener.
Now it's a play they like to go to when they need a goal, and that time the pass just didn't connect to Jackson, who was already kind of taking flight as he went to accept the feed.
Keenan gets ahead of the defense, and that one found its way in. It wound up in the stick of Kells, but it was called a good goal first.
Well, let's have a look at this, AJ. This is incredible. Kells actually thinks this got past him. It's in his stick. He doesn't realize it. Almost puts his stick through his legs across the goal line, not realizing that the ball is in his pocket. Oh no, that one was clearing and then ends up in his stick after that. I've never seen a bounce like that before. Wow.
Well, made it convenient for him to hand it back to the official. But
I'm not sure how that goes into the goal and then back out and ends up in his stick.
That's like the kickoff in football that hits off the crossbar or something. It's one of those weird plays. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's weird.
That's another shorthanded goal, AJ.
Yeah, good point. 7th for Saskatchewan this year again. No one else in the league has more than 2.
Man, I'm telling you, 7 shorthanded goals is a good season. They're 3 games in.
It shows you something, though, as Wesley, who hit the game tire at Panther City with 0.8 seconds, is stopped. Tells you something about Saskatchewan's transition capability, I think. Hannah to Hellier, doesn't get through, but Wesley possesses. Great cut by Greer, and that's a power play goal for Las Vegas.
That'll set the smoke off here in Michelob Ultra. Zach Greer comes through the middle, off ball, gets the feed. And that's what I was talking about earlier, AJ, getting to the dirty areas of the floor. This is the area that I'm talking about that Zach Greer goes to right here, right to the top of the crease. And a hard fake on Chiliano opens him up and opens the net up. And a big-time needed power play goal for Las Vegas.
We asked Sean Williams this week about his team's offense, and he said he wants to see his guys get a little more uncomfortable. Don't just go to your spot. Be okay with getting uncomfortable and then find your spots organically from there.
Yeah, and what he kind of means by that is you'll see guys that prefer to be down on the crease, or they want to play the point or the shooter area of the floor, and sometimes you can get stuck in that area. They call it playing in a phone booth, and you can't be successful in lacrosse. You got to keep your feet moving, and you got to keep the ball moving, and then get everybody involved offensively. Another delayed call coming against Saskatchewan.
Kells heads over to the bench, 6 on 5 for the moment. Shot clock, though, is at 6. Got to do something quickly here in the delayed penalty. Watson, great pass. Greer misses high. So that's been part of the story, too, today as well for Las Vegas. They've gotten some great looks like that and just simply missed. That time, the veteran Zach Greer is in that category, but a power play here for Las Vegas.
Yeah, just kind of made him twist around a little bit and hard to get that shot off quickly. I like the look from Watson to find Greer in that spot. Just kind of gave him a tough pass to handle and get the shot off cleanly. But surprisingly here, AJ, they actually take Greer off the power play and put Dylan Watson in his spot at the shooter.
Watson, Casey Jackson, the 2 lefties in this lineup. We were told Greer's got a broken stick.
That'll do it.
There's a reason why he's out. Wesley tries to circle the crease. Watson picks up the trash. He's stopped by Chiliano, who's had a sparkling performance, his best game as a member of the Saskatchewan Rush as they pick up the pieces right now, the reason for this delay.
Sometimes when you fall down, you're a big fella like Frank Chiliano is. Takes a little time to get back to your feet, and they'll give the goaltender a little reprieve.
Well, I asked Jimmy Quinlan this week about teams targeting low shots on Chiliano with success over the first 2 weeks of the season. He said they do prefer to have Chiliano standing. There have been some times when he's been laboring, I've noticed, on some of those low shots. But they have confidence in their approach with him, and it's looked good this week.
Yeah, sometimes that's what Frankie has a tendency to do. As the game wears along, he starts to wear down a little bit. His kind of default is to drop to his knees. He's a big goaltender, so he still covers a lot of the goal, but clearly Jimmy Quinlan and his staff want him to stand tall throughout the entire game.
The other point, too, on Chiliano that both coaches mentioned, even Sean Williams expecting a better performance from him this time around, knowing that it's a new system, an adjustment period for Chiliano, who takes an unexpected, I think maybe was that supposed to be a pass? I don't know what that was.
Well, either way, it hit the crossbar, so they should have reset the shot clock, but didn't.
You're right.
There's
another one. That one definitely is noticeably a reset.
Well, and I like the aggressive nature. Yes, indeed. That's a big ricochet there for Hannah, who I think needs to start looking. I know his confidence is probably a little shaky right now because he's dried up in the goal department, but he needs to start firing the ball like he was last year.
Hellier behind the back. Hannah behind the back. Wesley. through the wickets for a goal. That was the highlight one of the night so far for Las Vegas, but an injury on the back end.
Well, more than just an injury here, AJ. It's Mike Messenger going back to the penalty box here. The goal will count. The penalty will count as well, and Vegas is going to go right back to the man advantage after Wesley gets his first of the evening. Get the overhead look here, but the penalty came out high against Rob Hellier, who got up under a zone power here, but Mike Messenger back into the box here, and Vegas back to the man advantage and starting to generate a little momentum here, and another power play goal for the Dogs will just add a little more life into their step here, and they can get within 6. Lots of time left in this game.
And thankfully, Hellier is just fine after taking the hit from Messenger. But if you're the Rush, not exactly the recipe when you go up by 9 goals to repeatedly put yourselves in a penalty kill situation.
And I cannot understate how good Zach Cole has been for this Desert Dogs team in the small circle. You know, a lot of people were concerned when Brandon Cleveland was not going to be available. Sean Williams was not. He's like, oh, we got Zach Cole, we're good. Now, I didn't realize how good he was, but man, he's putting some other faceoff guys on notice in the NLL.
Jake Boudreau, a potent transition weapon, is tracked down by Hellier.
That's
he
a bad
makes
shot.
it an easier stop for Landon Kells.
Boudreau's just got to pull that ball out and kill off 30 seconds. That one was nowhere near going into the goal, and I'm sure he'll hear about that when he gets back to the bench. Wrong side of the floor, early in the shot clock. You're shorthanded, can't take that shot.
Twister shot by Jack Hanna. Rebound makes its way out to Rob Hellier. And the reset there and a shot on goal. All shots on goal, new 30 seconds.
Or the post.
Which is a shot on goal,
suppose, yeah.
technically. In this sport.
Well, technically, it's actually not a shot on goal, but it does get you the reset, which is kind of crazy.
Okay, so statistically, you're saying
Yes.
not a shot on goal, but just a reset.
There you go.
I actually got to check you there. I think a shot on goal, because that goes as a save, a shot off the post. We have to place a little friendly Vegas wager on that, Jake.
I'm down.
All right. Well, I think we got a break coming up, so we can
Okay,
we can take a look at that.
Flip open the rule book.
Well, they, with the penalty kill situation, just run clock. Now 7 seconds on the power play and the aforementioned timeout. 7:39, third quarter. Well, if you're Las Vegas, the good news is it was 11-2. So a little closer now. 11-4 is the score. They're tossing the dog around. Get game day ready and shop your favorite team's jerseys and merchandise. Head to NLLshop.com to get all your National Lacrosse League and team gear today. Back in Las Vegas, only 7 seconds left on the power play as the Desert Dogs trail the Saskatchewan Rush at home 11-4.
So here's where you have to be careful, AJ. Man coming out of the penalty box. They'll have a look, Will Hanna. They'll let Messenger come out and then start going to goal as he comes back into the defensive zone.
You said the reason why earlier in that situation is to prevent a leak out situation and transition the other way. Dylan Watson is dispossessed, but Jackson tries to go airborne after the loose ball pickup. And that was actually Greer back there with an excellent effort, but he was denied hard.
Got up on a limp, too, after taking that hit from Messenger. I think he'll be okay.
37 years old, the former unofficial #1 goal scorer in NCAA history. Because of his years at Bryant transitioning, it wasn't official at the time. Also played at Duke in college. Zach Greer, lengthy, successful NLL career. J.C. Jackson saved, and we have a whistle.
Illegal body check coming up here, potentially. It's going to go to the Dogs here. Soroketti, I think, is going, and now a Saskatchewan player, maybe for a few words exchanged there after the whistle, might go as well.
Penalties on the plate of Las Vegas. 2 minutes illegal body check. To Saskatchewan, we have 2 minutes. Unsportsmanlike conduct, 4-on-4. Vegas ball.
So 4-on-4, but Las Vegas gets the possession.
Coincidental minors. Mallory taking the second penalty. So Vegas gets the possession.
Hellier has to retrieve this before trouble comes in the form of Barnable. Rob Hellier does. Hanna draws a couple, lays it off for Hellier. Now Watson misses high. Off the rebound. Watson's got it off the pipe.
Oh, so close for Watson right there.
Watson again. Blocked by Messenger. Gets it back, dives and scores.
Love to see it from Dylan Watson. Just stuck with it. AJ had, what, 2, 3, 4 opportunities on that offensive shift. Had a post, had a shot block, but just stayed with it. And I really feel like once Watson kind of finds his touch, the goals are going to come in bunches for 45, and that might be the start of it right there. I think this has been his best game so far as a pro, and more to come from Dylan Watson.
What we've seen so far this season, to me, is Sean Williams giving the 23-year-old Watson a chance to develop. You know, hasn't always been great yet for him, but it's so early in his career for the #2 overall pick. And Coach Williams is giving him his minutes, letting him learn what it's like out there.
The kid has scored goals at every single level he has played at, and the National Lacrosse League will be no exception once he finds his touch.
Just over a minute left in the 4-on-4 rule change this year in this situation with the coincidental minors. It used to just be 5-on-5 if the penalties were assessed at the same time, but trying to open things up more, get some more 4-on-4s.
I love it, AJ. I think this is a great change for the National Lacrosse League. Doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it just adds a little more excitement, a little extra space out there for the boys to go to work.
Sean Wesley dashes inside, and Chiliano gets downstairs for that save. Yeah, I don't see the downside there. I see only upside in more 4-on-4 opportunities. Gagliardi hit Walter on the move. Walter flashes toward the cage. Catch and release shot stopped by Kells. 6-goal margin. Las Vegas has scored the last 3.
A couple more here from the Dogs, and it gets real interesting.
Great save there by Kells. Penalties released. Messenger gets hit hard.
You felt that one too, right into the ribs.
Should say when Greniuk. My bad, Jake, taking that one.
Soroketti out of the penalty box when Greniuk a little unaware of his surroundings, and Soroketti took the opportunity to give him the cross check right to the midsection.
And so Desert Dogs yet to stop. 6-goal differential, feeling some momentum. Hellier with space, shoots high and deflected off of Chiliano and the pipe.
Inches away from a Gino right there.
Said it before, we've seen a big comeback in this building before. 8 goals down against Vancouver. It'll have to be a 9-goal comeback tonight. Church. Steered aside. Dodds now with it. This is Dodds taking the shift, I should say, for Church in this spot, and that's clearly a penalty. Right now, Saskatchewan still has possession. They can run the goalie off. Man shoots. Reset here, no possession yet for Vegas, so delayed penalty continues.
Full 30 for a 6-on-5 now.
They run Church on there as the 6th man. Robert Church. Defender falls. That's not going to count. Whistle first before Reinhold was pushed down.
We'll see if they call the penalty. We saw Vegas get called on that a couple of times in the first half. Not just a possession call, but a penalty call. But that time, I think it's just possession for Saskatchewan. Goal will not count. Vegas into the penalty box. And Saskatchewan off to the man advantage.
But first, a timeout. Saskatchewan leads Las Vegas 11-5. Desert Dogs have the last 3 goals. But you give up somebody like Mark Matthews, all eyes on what you get back. And Zach Mans, he might just be worth it for Saskatchewan.
Well, younger, obviously, right? And still finding his true ceiling. I think just kind of entering his prime right now. But he's been a successful player at every level he has been at. He's coming off his best summer ball season. The Drexel product took his team to a Minto Cup in junior lacrosse, and I know they have high hopes for Zach Mans, and I know Zach has high hopes for himself as well, and he's off to a great start this season.
Jimmy Quinlan told us it wasn't easy to think about giving up what he called the best player in franchise history in Mark Matthews, but that they just felt it's time. And Matthews wasn't the only one that left town this offseason, many via the trade.
Dilks, Rubish, Piers.
It felt like it was time to turn the page from the previous core, kind of like they did when they had a young core around 2013, 2014, and just letting those guys really get more space to develop. And they wanted to respect the young core that's on the roster, give them time to develop.
Sorry, AJ, and I think that was the thought process from Derek Keenan. Let's not do this halfway. If we're going to do the rebuild, let's dive in head first. Maybe take a little pain, which, you know, they've missed the playoffs a couple of times over the last years. But let's not just try and retool and do it on the fly. They went head deep and turned it over in a big-time way in a short amount of time.
Also went out and got a veteran goaltender and Frank Chiliano to supplement what otherwise is a little bit of a retool. 10-plus minute scoring drought for Saskatchewan. And one on the entire team was Charlie Bertrand. He's playing almost exclusively defense so far this year.
And I think what's helped Vegas mount this comeback, or the beginning of it anyways, has been their loose ball play. As they say, AJ, loose balls win games, and Vegas starting to do that. 42-33 in the loose ball department now. What a save. Well, that's through the crease, first to touch the ball right there on Saskatchewan. That's the possession call on the rush.
Reinhold evades trouble. Now Hannah will settle it down as the offensive players are subbed onto the field.
Just 10 seconds to go in the penalty time here. We'll look for Vegas to chew it all off.
Hannah tiptoeing around the crease. And the shot clock is done. Penalty is done.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, they don't get a shot on goal, but they're not going to give up any transition. And they used up the full 30 seconds and killed off the penalty.
When Greniuk 1-on-2 in a world of trouble. Barclay lowers the boom, as does Reinhold. When Greniuk emerges, now it's given away.
Well, you're starting to see Vegas play a little more Desert Dog style lacrosse here. Aggressive on the defensive end. Double teaming that ball carrier in a good spot and causing the turnover.
They're a team that typically takes on the personality of their head coach, Sean Williams. But they're always looking for a little more consistency at this early stage of the franchise. Now Hellier misses the mark, far side. No reset, so the shot clock down to 4. Wagner notices the former Marquette attackman is saved. And the quarter clock expires.
Another rough ride for Zach Greer as he got slammed into the boards by 2 rush players there. Slow to get up. But the veteran will make his way back to the bench. Just 45 in the books and 15 to go.
Zach Greer, the 37-year-old, has paid the price tonight. And Las Vegas with a little whiff of momentum at the moment, but still a big cushion for the Rush.
Sorry, I thought you were passing.
It's my bad. It's my bad.
That's okay.
I shouldn't have put him here. Well, the Dogs are down big, but they've scored the last 3.
Yeah, they were down 9 at one point, AJ, but 3 straight here for the Dogs. First Greer cutting through the middle. That's what you want to do to score goals in this league. And then the flipper from Hellier. One more down to the rookie Wesley, who finds the 5-hole. And then it was Watson who just stuck with it. Gets his own rebound and finds the top corner. Past a falling Chiliano. And Desert Dogs within striking distance here with 1 quarter to play.
What is the general strategy in this situation when you're the team that is down by 6 goals with 15 minutes to work with?
Just break it down, shift by shift here. You got to kind of just micro the game a little bit. Try and get the next one. And then once you do that, just get the next one and just chip away here. Easier said than done. Blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. But like I said, stranger things have happened in this game than a 6-goal comeback in a quarter of play.
Rouet holds, shoots. Chiliano has been big all night, and now with the loose ball pickup, Whistle dead, so I guess a push was called first.
I think Wagner might have just had a toe in the crease before he scooped up that loose ball. Close play, but referee right on the scene. Oh, look out, we got an extra ball down on the turf here as Mans got jarred into the end wall. One popped out of the netting from behind the net. Referee right there to pick it up as play continues.
Keenan taking that shot. Tor Reinhold saw some daylight, but a couple of green and white jerseys back there. Shoots anyway and denied by Chiliano.
Now it's a good shot from the Port Moody product right there. Got a little screen and let it fly. Tested Chiliano, and they maintained possession off the rebound.
850-ish save percentage so far for Chiliano. That's big. Jackson, great catch. He's off the iron.
That's just unlucky.
They were thinking about transition, but Adam J thought better of it. He was dealt in that Mark Matthews trade with his close friend, Zach Mans.
Now, nothing against Adam J, who's been a nice addition to this lineup, but of all the guys that have the green light to go defensively, Adam J probably not one of them.
So makes the right decision. Church in traffic. Shot clock violation.
Defensive hold there for Vegas.
Clearly the Desert Dogs looking to push the pace. They have to in this type of situation. But the Rush, credit to them. Great transition defense tonight.
Absolutely.
Best looks in this game are by far the transition opportunities.
Yeah, and you talk about, I talk about the loose ball battle. Whoever wins the loose ball battle, usually the team that'll come up on top. And I would put transition in that category as well. If you can win the transition battle, in more cases than not, your team will be on the right side of the ledger.
Even more so in a matchup like this with these two teams who really rely on it. Dylan Watson paid a pretty big price on that last possession. Shot by Kozevnikov was upstairs. He's got it back. Now Dodds shoots far side wide. And one more shot that is on frame, but at the end of the possession, Saskatchewan was in the process of changing. Right-hand dominant possession for Vegas. Anna tried to cut on through. He was grabbed a bit. Hellier has it taken away. Holden Garland.
Got a nice game, AJ. Holden Garland. Steady.
Played a couple years with the PLL Cannons. The Ontario native. Garland. Now Church. To Kozevnikov, he scores. It's the second of the season for Nathaniel Kozevnikov.
Well, and that's what happens when you got 4 goals in the first half. Defense is going to be drawn to you, and that opens up cause for a shot down low. And you give him that kind of time and room to find his spot. More often than not, he will. Yeah, good pick and roll game there from Saskatchewan. The lead back up to 7.
And that's the first goal in just about a quarter for Saskatchewan, but doesn't matter really. I mean, despite the long drought, which tends to happen about once a game to a team.
Yeah, both teams will go through, they'll have their chance to go on a run, and both teams will most likely have a bit of a drought offensively as well.
Dylan Watson with the net being dislodged, still gets a chance to put a shot on there. Chiliano stuffs him. Church, Keenan, and Dodds all working on a 6-point day so far for the Saskatchewan Rush offense. Robert Church, who was 3rd in the league in goals last year, tries to flash himself open, was close there, but whiffed on the catch. Gets it back behind the back. Dodds looking for the finisher this time. He has 6 assists, still no goals.
Oh, just missed on the corkscrew there. And what makes off-ball guys so successful is normally they'll pass the ball. As soon as they pass the ball, the first instinct as a defender is you want to turn your head and watch where that ball's going. As soon as that defender does that, that's when you cut and you get a step on your guy.
Hannah, backhand shot. Frank Sciliano up above 30 saves, and there have been some high difficulty saves in the mix. Only 5 goals allowed.
Clearly having his best effort here from his first 3 games as a member of the Rush, and this is what they expected when they acquired number 92.
Give up a lot for him. Kyle Rubish along with the number 18 and number 26 overall picks in the most recent entry draft. Jacob Rouet gives on to Hannah. Hannah to Casey Jackson, who scored a couple early. Hannah looking for his first home goal of the season, whistles that one upstairs. You've said it, but you got to feel like Hannah is pressing a little bit at this point.
Yeah, he's gripping it, no question about it. He'll find his way, though. He's too good not to.
And he led all rookies in goals scored last year. The Denver product has so much potential. A little bit of a slow start as a goal scorer to the season, and the Desert Dogs struggling out there today.
Sports fans are gearing up at NLLshop.com, the official online store of the National Lacrosse League, and the largest assortment of officially licensed NLL fan gear anywhere. With unique one-of-a-kind designs, team jerseys, and much more for every National Lacrosse League team. Don't wait. Shop now and get today's special offer. NLLshop.com. A Fanatics experience.
Vegas and Saskatchewan doing battle here in Michelob Ultra Arena. 12-5 lead for the Rush.
The only game on the docket tonight, but more action to come tomorrow night on a loaded Saturday night of Week 3 of National Lacrosse League action. But it's been Frank Sciliano here, AJ, that has really helped steer this 12-5 lead for Saskatchewan. A lot of talk about Sciliano his first 2 games. He's been pulled, hasn't looked that great, but he's come to Vegas and found his game in a big-time way.
Cam Wengreniuk, number 96, taking an offensive shift. Now Patrick Dodds near side. Low to high from Mans. A lot of rebounds for Saskatchewan. And that one is stung. Absolute laser beam.
I believe that was when Greniak on the release that just let that one fly. That's a snipe right to the short side top corner. Tough one to stop as a goaltender. If you're going to pick a spot, I mean, he had his angle. That is just a perfect shot.
And that is Wengreniuk's first career goal for the Rush. He has 5 overall in his relatively new NLL career. The Edmonton, Alberta native. He did have 158 goals at Grand Canyon. Again, MCLA action there. Club lacrosse for Grand Canyon. Not a lot of club
don't be
players.
knocking the MCLA.
I am not knocking the MCLA.
Time down at Sonoma State myself in the MCLA.
I'm saying how impressive it is to get from club lacrosse to professional lacrosse, which I think you would agree with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And doing it a little later in his career as well, right? He's been knocking on the door a little bit, getting his opportunity here in Saskatchewan. Gets into the lineup tonight and paying off his coach a little bit with a beauty. Penalty call coming to Gagliardi here.
And scooped up off the deck to freeze it.
And I'm just having to look down as this penalty call will be made here, AJ. I'm just having to look down at the Desert Dog bench right now, and I am not spotting number 88 in black. We recall him kind of limping off the floor after taking a rough ride into the boards. And I don't see him down on the bench. I think he's gone down to the tunnel into the Desert Dog locker room.
Vegas minor penalty, 2 minutes illegal cross check.
Keep in mind, Las Vegas now is on a lengthy drought. They haven't scored since about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Dodge shot doesn't get through. Now here comes Soroketti on the move, overruns it.
Reinhold did an excellent job just getting his stick right in the lane, actually blocked that shot right into his pocket, but then had his pass partially deflected, intended for Soroketti. But a good job from Kirst to run that loose down and maintain possession. So we'll see Bertrand now come up front here, AJ, with
a
the
little
absence.
swim move.
Yeah, absence of Zach Greer. We'll probably see Charlie Bertrand start to take some more shifts out the front gate.
You were noticing how many times Greer got hit hard tonight.
Yeah, he's taking a rough ride. Listen, a 14-year veteran and, probably a little dinged up already in this season. And I don't think he's going to return tonight. I don't think it's anything too serious for Greer. At least we hope not. But not on the bench there, and he's a big loss on the offensive end, no question.
Well, and the good news, most of the league is off next week with the holidays, but that includes Las Vegas. This is actually the first of 3 straight games that leads into a bye week. Bye weeks heavily concentrated early in the season. They have no more byes after that. The good news is they don't have any back-to-backs this year. Unlike Saskatchewan, which has a couple of bye weeks coming up, including after this game, but they play a weird sequence later in the season in which they go back-to-back, a week off, and then another back-to-back.
The schedule can be a little funky depending on which team you are, where you play, right? Lots of considerations to take into account when making the schedule. And, by all accounts, I had a chance to kind of talk to every coach and GM throughout the league leading up to the season. And by all accounts, everybody pretty satisfied and happy with their schedule.
And Mans is satisfied with another goal.
He is a sharp shooter. Is Zach Mans.
This has been a banner day for Mans and Church and the Saskatchewan Rush. Each of those 2 guys now have 4.
All right, you get another look at it here from Zach Mans, and what makes this shot so successful is his body is leaning one way and he angles his stick and turns it the other way. So the instinct for the goaltender is to look at his body and go, oh, he's going short side on this. And then a little twist of the wrist as he lets the ball go out of his pocket to the far side of the goal.
It's interesting to hear you describe that. I hear when you describe that someone in Zach Mans who has a very refined game at this point, who has developed himself, age 25, entering the prime of his career. He looks like a player that's ready to make a seismic impact entering the prime of his career.
Yeah, well, in Toronto, he wasn't the #1 guy. Here in Saskatchewan, on the left-hand side, he is the #1 guy. No disrespect to Ryan Keenan, but Zach Mans is a pure goal scorer. And he's taken that opportunity and he's running with it right now.
The only thing he has to do is remember when to do his laundry, because I asked him why he wasn't wearing the compression leg sleeves in week 2 as opposed to week 1, and like he normally does, he said, look, I always want to wear those because it helps with the turf burn, but if you ever see me not wearing them, it means I ran out of a clean pair.
Well, just got to do a little more laundry.
Laundry day snuck up on him a week ago in the Rochester loss, but not this time around, and not much sneaking up on the Rush today. 14-5, the advantage, matching their largest lead.
That's why when I see the guys with the one-legged compressions, I'm always kind of like, I like the way it looks. Like, I think it's a pretty cool fashion statement. I'm just not sure of the functionality of it.
Oh, we'll save that for next broadcast. Right. Then I'll go ask again if we find a one-leg guy down there.
Get that going on up in the booth here, AJ.
Deflection off of Hannah. There was actually a goal in, I don't know, I think it was maybe the Halifax. I don't know if it was Halifax or Rochester, but basically a header goal for Robert Church earlier this season. Straight off the dome and in, like from long range. that I had never seen before in this sport, at least.
It happens time to time.
From how far away it was, I'll clarify. I'd never seen something like it. Shot clock a factor, and it is down to 0 before that shot from Mans. And this will be a break, our final break of the game. 14-5, Saskatchewan Rush. This Saskatchewan visiting fan base, they love coming to Vegas, and this team does as well, on the verge of 2-0 here.
Sports fans are gearing up at NLLshop.com, the official online store of the National Lacrosse League, and the largest assortment of officially licensed NLL fan gear anywhere. With unique one-of-a-kind designs, team jerseys, and much more for every National Lacrosse League team. Don't wait. Shop now and get today's special offer. NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience.
Take a look at our Fanatics turning point of the game. It was 11-5. Desert Dogs had scored the last 3. This goal from Nathaniel Kazevnikov stopped the bleeding.
Yeah, just the classic pick and roll two-man game there for Church and Cause. And the reaching finish past Kells to stop the run.
He's a former Robert Morris guy, played there for 1 year.
Yeah.
Was acquired in a 3-way deal with New York and Buffalo in the offseason. Austin Madronic was the outgoing player in that trade.
Yeah, that was a real interesting deal. You don't normally see a lot of 3-team trades there, but Buffalo's so loaded on that right side. He became expendable, and I think everybody got what they wanted at the end of the deal, and you love to see a trade like that. I believe that was some sort of set play for a bank job off the end wall that just didn't really connect.
I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm not sure what I just saw.
Yeah, once in a while you'll see guys kind of try something funky like that off the back window and a ricochet in front of the goal, but that one just didn't work.
Big crank up top by Wengreniuk, and it's in, off of Kells and back in.
Oh, he had it wrapped up in his gear and then kind of popped down to his backside, and as he did that, the ball squirt free and rolled into the goal as Wengreniuk just kind of overpowered Kells. Almost similar to what we saw Wesley do against Daymut at the end of that Panther City game last week. Simi had it, it was frozen, and then I think he started to feel like it was about to come loose on him and tried to lay down on top of it as it rolls into the back of the net.
We're definitely seeing a story today of a Saskatchewan Rush team that just meant business after the first 2 weeks. They got blown out by Halifax. It was closer and a tough comeback loss at the end, with Rochester scoring the final few, and then they just were like, we're not going to let it happen this week. That's the vibe I've gotten, and we've sort of felt that all week from Saskatchewan. We were eager to see how Las Vegas was going to try and match it, and they haven't been able to.
Yeah, you just knew they were going to come out and play desperate lacrosse. That's exactly what they did right out of the chute. Let's not forget they scored on their first shot of the game, AJ, and it's been kind of rolling downhill here for the Rush since, as they'll have some time off here. They're off until the 31st when they'll take on the Firewolves. I'm excited to see what the Firewolves can do this weekend against Philadelphia, and Vegas will get back in action on the 30th as they'll take on the Calgary Roughnecks, who will be a little ornery themselves as they're a little slow out of the gates here before the Dogs return home on January 12th for the Joe Tsai Bowl, as they'll take on the San Diego Seals here in Vegas.
I am interested to see Albany, though. Can they make it 3-0?
Yeah.
Can they keep this going?
I think they can, AJ. After what we saw the first 2 weeks, You know, Philly losing Blaze Reardon in that last game against Toronto. I like the look and the makeup of that Firewolves team, and I think they got a good shot to go 3-0.
No contact made, so a shot clock violation. 30-second timer, always in effect in the NLL. And we have not seen a Desert Dogs goal since just over the 6-minute mark in the third quarter. Bertrand tries to go 5-hole.
Had some room down there as well, and that one just kind of bobbled around in between the legs of Chiliano and stayed on the right side of the goal line if you're a Rush fan.
Haven't heard a ton today from Clark Walter, although he does have 3 points. Everyone's doing something today for the Rush. And tally one more for Kozevnikov.
AJ, watch where this ball goes in. You could not walk right into the crease with the ball in your hand and place it into the goal any better than where 21 fires that ball on the run. What a shot. Clip it.
And that becomes the 9th assist for Ryan Keenan, quietly racking them up. He has a 10-point day.
Impressive.
Keenan 10 points. Church and Mans each with the 4 goals. Church has 7 points. Patrick Dodds has 7 assists. 16-5. Watson. Not quite.
Good off-ball cut. Good luck for the Rook. Better stop for Chiliano.
Frank Chiliano with 36 saves and just the 5 goals against.
That'll help the average and the save percentage.
Man spins free, hits Keenan, looking for point number 11. No.
Saw Connor Fields with an 11-point night against the Rush last weekend. Penalty call.
Desert Dogs are looking eager for the last 114 to be done at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it, AJ. It's just been a tough night here for Las Vegas, and let's not forget the fact here that we're talking about a second-year franchise that's going to go through some growing pains. It's just the nature of the beast in this league. A new team, lots of new players coming together, young kids in there. You're going to go through some struggles as a new franchise in this league, and this is just kind of one of those nights for Vegas, who have played far, far from their best lacrosse here tonight.
And against a team that's an overhauled roster in a lot of ways, but still some of the championship DNA in some ways as well.
And desperate, right? Desperate coming into this game.
And so, you know, I mean, the Desert Dogs are such a prideful group that...
Listen, nobody's going to be happy coming away from this game for Las Vegas.
You expect really kind of this type of demeanor when you're down by this margin. And
here we go.
A little bit of frustration, I think, at this point. Tor Reinhold has to be restrained.
And there's a guy that plays with some fire in his belly, right? And he's not just going to go away into the night without sending a bit of a message here to the Rush that he's not happy with the way that his team has played here tonight.
Clearly, it's not personal because, of course, Tor Reinhold, we were told, was at, you know, Robert Church's wedding, former teammate of some of these guys.
We have 2 infractions on the play for Vegas, 2 each for Slash. With the man already in the box, we roll the box, therefore we have a penalty shot.
Oh, here we go, AJ. Penalty shot time.
I don't believe there has been one yet this year in the NLL.
So I believe, I hope I get this right, because I'm a little trepidatious with the amount of things I've gotten wrong here this evening. But a man already in the box, 2 penalties for Reinhold. That's 3 penalties total, automatic penalty shot.
And they're going to give it to Nathaniel Kozevnikov going up against Landon Kells. He scores. Kozevnikov's 3rd.
Pick the right guy. That's a nice job there, just to kind of come in on a bit of an angle and then work his way across the top of the crease, make that goaltender move across his goal line. Couple of fakes, find a little open space and tuck it home.
.40 seconds left, 17-5 rush. Zach Cole, he's done his job. He's continued to do his thing
Up there
tonight.
A bit of a call there on Shea, knocking Cole down from behind, but we'll keep the whistle in the pocket here in the final 30 seconds, it looks like.
Cole 20 for 25 today, second straight, almost identical face-off mark that he had last week. He was 20 for 24. Second straight fine day for him, and even Coach Williams thought he should have gotten more credit for what he did against Joe Nardella.
No, he's been excellent. He's been excellent, AJ, and once he kind of learns the intricacies of playing defense inside the boards, he's going to be a real good one.
The Rush run that possession out, and now just 2 seconds to go. And this one in the books. The Saskatchewan Rush storm into Vegas and come away with a 17-5 win.
Well, both teams now 1-2 as the Rush get their first victory of the season. And both teams will have a couple of weeks now to rest up, heal up, enjoy some time with friends and family. And we'll get back into action just before the calendar turns to 2024.
Lots of work on for Las Vegas, but I thought just so much credit to Saskatchewan there. The full package, offensive weapons, physical play defensively, transition game, goalie play, everything on display for Saskatchewan, including Frank Chiliano, who is down in the field, Morgan Worth with him.
Thank you, AJ. Frank, first win in a Rush jersey, first win for you guys on this season. So how good did this one feel to get under your belt?
Yeah, it feels good, obviously. You know, it's nice to kind of finally get the monkey off our back. You know, we're a young team. We're trying to find our feet, and tonight we stuck to the process, and, you know, success is in the score, right? So we did what we came here to do.
Let's talk about that score. You only allowed 5 goals on the night. So what adjustments did you make coming into tonight that you attribute to your success?
Yeah, you know, you just got to buy in, right? That's the biggest thing. In this league, you have to have a short memory, and, you know, obviously the first couple of weeks, things didn't really go our way, but you can't really think about that, right? You got to come and play, and, you know, we got the results, so we'll be happy with that.
All right, you're in Las Vegas, so can I hear any of the celebration plans for tonight?
No big plans. I'm out of here at 6 a.m., so I'm going to get a good night's rest and enjoy a little break we have here.
Smart man. Enjoy the break. Congratulations. AJ?
Yeah, I don't believe him, but that's okay. Frank Chiliano, who, by the way, was traded to selected by Las Vegas in the expansion draft, let's not forget, and traded back to San Diego, dealt to Saskatchewan in the off-season. For Jacob, yeah, go ahead, Jake.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Frank's never going to make it about Frank, but it was about Frank tonight. 37 saves on 42 shots.
I appreciate that thought, and your work tonight, Jake Elliott, Morgan Worth, our entire crew, AJ Cannell saying so long from Michelob Ultra Arena. Final score, the Saskatchewan Rush 17, Las Vegas Desert Dogs 5.